Hello weirdos, welcome back to my channel. My name is EmmaAbe, and today we are doing a book haul. There's no theme to this book haul. It is just 20 books that I have purchased. I think these were all purchased in 2022. I got a lot of books to show you, so let's just get started. These are in no particular order. So the first book that I'm going to show you is Tread of Angels. This is by Rebecca Roanhorse, who also wrote the Black Sun, which I don't have a copy with me currently here, but I do have a copy not at this location. This is a short story novella. She's also written some other things. She's written stuff for the Rick Riordan verse. I'm not really sure what this book is about. I liked the cover. And I like the author, so I just decided to pick it up. And that's why I bought this book. The next book is a book in a series, and that is Treason's Shore. This is the third book in the Earthsea cycle, the Earthsea series. This is by Ursula K. Le Guin. I have read this, and the plot of this one, it basically is that magic is going away, and Ged has to figure out why that is happening, because magic going away is not good for anyone. I think I got this copy off of Amazon. This book I got at a local bookshop, independent bookstore called. The next book I got is 1984 by George Orwell. I don't have this book. I have a fair amount of classics. This is just one that I didn't own, and now I own it, and I'm going to read it at some point. But yeah, you have this society. You have this society that is very, very authoritarian, that is very highly controlled, and you're following this one man in his attempt to, I don't know if like break free is the right word, or rebel, but you know, it's a classic. It's 1984 for a reason. You have this idea of Big Brother. This is where the idea of Big Brother came from, and this I got at a library book sale from the Boston Public Library. The next book that I picked up is this Persephone, Hades' Torment. This is by Alison Shaw. This is published by Seven Seas. You can tell there, and they're the people who are publishing just a ton of translated works. I'm not sure if this is translated or not, but I'm a huge fan of fairy tale retellings, and this is a retelling of Hades and Persephone. But the catch with this one is that Hades has been hit with an arrow. Eros's arrow is in love with Persephone. Theoretically, yeah, I don't know. I like the art style. I think it's cute. See the thing on the back. I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was fine. I just wanted more. You know, I just wanted more. That was my thing. The next book, I'm gonna keep it to some of the graphic novels that I've picked up. This is another book series that I got from the Boston Public Library book sale. That is The Boxers and the Saints, and this is by Jean Luo Young. This tells a story of the Boxer Rebellion. You have the different sides of this conflict, and I thought that would be an interesting thing to read about. I haven't read the author's other main work, which is American Born Chinese. I do own it. I don't think I physically have it with me, but I do own it. I do plan on reading it sometime. But I like the style. So if we look at this, I'm also just in general a fan of like nonfiction graphic novels. I think they're highly underrated and they do awesome stuff. The next book is another retelling that I purchased, and that is Electric Idol. This is by Katie Roberts. I did read this. I do really enjoy this. I'm enjoying this whole like series, this Dark Olympus series. I'm currently reading the fourth one. To say it's mafia is like not correct, but I don't know what else to say, because they're not like gods in like the traditional sense. They're just people who control this like one city, this one like area of a larger like world. Gods aren't really gods, they're just powerful people. So like the title of like Ares is like passed down. The title of you know, Aries in particular isn't really passed down, but you know, it's a title that someone assumes. So it's interesting. I liked it. And as you go through the books, you learn more and more and more about this world. And this is a retelling of Eros and Psyche, and it's an arranged marriage. Or not arranged marriage, but it's like a marriage of necessity, convenience. Yes, that's what it is. Not arranged marriage. I don't know. I like this. This is the second edition, and one thing I really like about these books is that everyone is just bisexual. At least bisexual or gay, and I don't know. I just really appreciate people being really horny for each other and anyone. And I don't actually remember where I got this. I think I got this from like an independent bookstore. I can't remember if I got this from Trident or one in Cincinnati. I don't remember, not off the top of my head. This next book that I got is The Atlas 6. This is by Olivia Blake. I don't know anything about this other than that it's gay. That's it. I don't know the plot. I've heard mixed things. I think it might be like dark academia, maybe. I don't know. It's popular, but the end and the back it says secrets, betrayal, seduction, power. Welcome to the Alexandrian society. My friends laugh at me because they're like, the bar that it takes for you to buy a book is very low, and I was like, yes it is. It's very low. And that's okay with me. So the next book that I picked up is Babel. This is by R.F. Kuang. I think this is also queer. But the main story that we're focusing on is this young man. I think he is from China, and he has, I think, gotten into like Oxford to do stuff with like translations. It deals a lot with like colonialism and imperialism themes and racism, how language is tied up in all of that. And I thought that would be a very interesting book. Plus, it is a book that I have to read for the Goodreads Choice Awards, because I think this did win like fantasy or like historical fantasy. It's escaping me at this very second either. I think I purchased this also at Trident. The next book that I got is Sweet and Bitter Magic. This is by Adrienne Tooley. And this I asked like a bookseller at like Barnes and Noble. I was like, what is some queer stories? And this is Sapphic. And I got this like near where I grew up. And I know it has witches, and that's all I know. And it's a fantasy. The next book that I picked up is another queer book. And this is Ocean's Echo. This is by Everina Maxwell. This is another book in the universe of, I was going to say Ocean's Echo, Winter's Orbit. So this is queer, and you basically have two people. One of them is like, can read minds and is forced into the military, essentially. And the other one is like a soldier, a commander, a lieutenant, and they are kind of put together to do something. And queerness happens. And the next book that I picked up is Reforged. I think this is like an independently published thing. But this I got off of Amazon because I saw it and I was like, gay, obviously. They're freaking kissing on the cover. It's by Seth Haddon, and this is a fantasy where you're following like a prince and like a paladin, and it's gay. And I was like, yes, please. Yes to everything in that sentence. Next book that I purchased is The Water Dancer by Ta-Nehisi Coates. Excuse me, I don't really know much about this other than I've seen it a lot of places. I know it's going to be heavy because it's the author. I've heard like good things about this, and I got this at library book sale. I don't think this is fantasy. Yeah, I don't really know much about this one, but I've heard that it's good, and I cannot tell you anything about it. The next book that I got from Amazon, and that is What's Your Pronoun? Beyond He and She. This is by Dennis Barron, and I've been really struggling with my parents, like with dealing with my coming out to them and trying to explain pronouns. I was talking about some of my cousins about this, and they recommended this book for them to read, and also for me to read, because I prefer like knowing what they've read. to be able to point to stuff in the book. Oh, this one I got from Trident. I like ordered it online. Yeah, so we'll see if it actually does the job of like helping educate my parents. I don't know. We'll see. It's difficult with them. I wish it wasn't, but it is. Like, it goes through the like etymology and like how all of this stuff has changed and I just thought that this would be a very, very helpful book. Plus I thought like, okay, this might be a good book for like me to have in my classroom as well. The next book that I got is Former People. This is The Final Days of the Russian Aristocracy. This is by Douglas Smith, and this is just what it says on the tin. It's going to talk about Russian society during the revolution and probably before the revolution, and maybe probably after the revolution. And I thought that that was an interesting and compelling topic, and this I also got from a library book sale in Boston. The next book that I got is A Taste of Gold and Iron. This is by Alexandra Rowland, and it's a gay fantasy. That's all I know about it. It's a gay fantasy. I purchase a lot of books because they are gay and fantasy. Fun fact, currently I own the most books that I would consider gay and fantasy. Take that for what you will. Another book that I picked up last year was Cursed. This is by Marissa Meyer. Excuse me. This is the second book in I think her newest series, that being like following of Rumpelstiltskin. I'm a huge fan of Twisted Fairy Tales and the stuff that she did with like the Lunar Chronicles, I think it was called, but it had like Cinder in it. So I figured that I would like this. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know what this one specifically is about, but I do know that they're based off of Rumpelstiltskin. The next book that I got is Once We Burn. This is another gay fantasy, and all I know about it is that the cover is cool and that it is a gay fantasy. And this is by Rebecca Mix, and it's YA. The next book that I got is another gay fantasy. This is Ever After by F.T. Lukens. I've read some of F.T. Lukens' other stuff. I liked it and I thought it was cute. I saw this and I was like, oh, this looks good. This looks compelling. I don't know what it's about. I'm assuming we have wizards in this. Yeah, that's all I know. It looks really cool. Yeah. And the very last book that I'm going to show you before saying goodbye today is a book that I have already read, and that is the third book in a series, and that is King's Rising by C.S. Pacat. I'm a huge fan of the series. I really like it, and this is the conclusion. We see them come back together, and like resolutions were happening, and yeah, I don't know. I just enjoyed this, and I'm excited to dive into more of C.S. Pacat's work. I have some more, and I do see that the sequel to their YA series is out, but I'm like, I want to wait till it is in paperback. So I'm waiting before starting that. And yeah, that's all the books that I'm going to show you today. I'm sorry if it was a little bit short. I don't have a ton of energy to want to be explaining these things. That's okay. I'm going to actually probably talk to you next week. Bye-bye.